What is up, everybody? It's my favorite time of the week. It's Dreadful Talk time. Episode 26 today, which is how old I am. So my podcast is however many episodes old I am. How many years old I am. I have that many episodes. I'm excited for this week. Dreadful Talk episode 26. I do have a guest this week. We're going to be talking some anime this week. It's going to be a lot of fun. Met this dude back in the day when we were younger, but life has a funny way of crossing people's paths, and getting people back connected. We still have Beefy Boys Breakdowns t-shirts available for purchase. I think we're all out of XLs, but all other size and larges, I think. But those smalls, mediums, and double X hitters, we got you. And then long sleeve Dreadful Talk shirts are getting printed up as we speak, and they're gonna be fucking sick. I spent the extra money to get the nice, comfortable, good quality. They're legit. Like they're like some shit that you would buy like at the store, not some shit you buying to support the homie. Like these are gonna be super legit. And yeah, man, I'm excited about this episode. Like I said, we're gonna talk some anime. And yeah, I want to. I'm a fairly new anime fan. And let me see here. Hey Parker, are you watching from your band's Instagram? Send an emoji if it's you watching from the Habu band page. Like if I should join that one, I'm not sure if that's you or not. All right. And without further ado,
Hey,
my
what's up?
guest Parker. Hey, what's up, buddy? Hey, you mind just turning that
What's
phone
up?
sideways real quick, and then we'll be right on the same
Gotcha.
page. Oh
Oh
man.
yeah, I
I
got you.
appreciate you, brother. You got the lighting. There ain't 8 kids
Oh,
running around
dude,
in the background.
I'm trying to, man. I'm I'm
Uh,
I'm just I'm just trying to show up.
no, I feel you, man. It's always tough because when people come on the show, they're doing me a favor. No money's being exchanged or anything, so it's like
Yeah.
it's hard for me to be like too critical. But it's like sometimes it's like, man, are we doing this on a Nokia right now? Or like, what's
Oh,
going
dude,
on?
man, I understand. Like, in Instagram's super weird. Well, here's the thing. It's I also like own like a media streaming company,
Yeah.
or so I have to at least like be able to freaking get on Instagram Live and
Oh
not
yeah.
look like.
No, I
But yeah,
feel you,
dude.
brother. No, it's legit, man. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show. This is my guest, Parker, and I'll be real. Your last name's escaped me. If you don't want to give out the government, you don't have to. But I want to
Dude,
just
it's all good. I go by Milo Sonder. That's like my online stage quote,
yeah,
whatever artsy name or whatever. So we can stick with that. Of course, you call me Parker because that's like my,
Parker,
you know,
Milo. All right, for sure, brother. But yeah,
yeah,
so I'm
you
gonna
know,
give you an opportunity to just introduce yourself to the viewers. Let them know what you do. I know you do a lot, so feel free to just take your time, promote anything you want to promote. I know you're in some bands. I know you got your company. You're a man of many
dude.
talents. So just introduce yourself, shout out whatever you want to shout out, and then we'll talk some anime, brother.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, like I said, my name is Milo Parker to some of you guys out there. I am the guitar player in a band called Pabu. We have uh since we're all doing the Spotify wrap up and everything this year, like it's been a huge it's been great to see like kind of all the end numbers for everything we've
Yeah.
done. We've got um have 5 singles out right now. Our last one we just put out was back in October. And
Awesome, man.
it's yeah. Shout out to Adam Driver because that's the name of the song.
Oh,
And
okay.
he's also just freaking just fucking dope
Yeah, just
dope
shout
ass
out.
dude. Yeah. Um, but and so playing Pabu. I also this is my company, Circle Lotus Media. We stream every Friday. All local underground bands. It's going to be, dude. It's been a fucking blast. Like doing all of kind of that stuff and been like able to meet a lot of the locals, see a lot of like really great music. Like honestly, some of my favorite music that has like come out this year has been from local bands. In my top five, our little like Spotify wrap up thing, that was actually like a small local band.
Oh, nice.
And
And just tell the people where you're currently located. What does local mean to you? Where are you coming from?
so I mean, well, more it's like local slash underground. So it's pretty much anybody who's like kind of like our level, but I'm located
Yeah.
in Norman, Oklahoma. So,
Okay. All
OU
right,
and
for
everything
sure.
right now. Like,
Yeah, for sure. That's my hometown people. So yeah,
oh yeah.
yeah. So shout out Norman, Oklahoma. Shout out the 405. And yeah, there's a lot of it always. And I've had this conversation with people, out here, um, and it's crazy how much talent, like of all, just of any
Yeah.
medium or any lane, so much talent comes out of Oklahoma and like just
Yeah,
slept
dude.
on and underrated. And I love what you're doing with that platform.
Thanks, man. We're having fun. It's me and my boy David. We're like just trying to build something up from scratch, and it's been a fucking blast doing it. But I'm here to talk some anime, man. I don't know about
Yeah.
you, but
No,
like
no, definitely,
that's
brother.
it's
Yeah.
this is my thing.
For sure, man. And thank you so much for replying. So just in the spirit of anime, I'll tell a little bit of the origin story here.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
so how me and Milo know each other, we go back in high school. He was in a band with my best friend Rodney, and who was actually on the show. He was on the podcast. I think he was my first guest ever back on like
Oh,
episode
really,
7 or 8. Yeah. And he's going
dude?
by
Hell yeah.
Pop Out Rod now. He's doing dope shit out in
Yeah.
LA, the
Oh yeah.
modeling, the acting, and the music's taking off. It was dope because he always told me, the modeling and shit was just to like a vessel to kind of like get the music out
Oh,
there. And everybody says that when they move to LA, and then you're making decent money modeling, and you kind of lose sight. But man, my man's focused, kept the
dude.
main thing the main thing.
Dude, that's one thing about Rodney is like he like hustling is just his thing. He can do that like any day of the week.
Yeah, man.
But he
So shout out to Papa Rod, and shout out to
absolutely
y'all's old band Reg. One of my favorite
R.I.P.
band
Reg, man,
names.
dude,
Yeah, one of my
dude.
favorite band names of all time. And for those that don't know what Reg means, it's kind of differs by region. But in Oklahoma, we call it like shitty brick Mexican weed, like
Oh
Reggie Bush.
yeah. But we also had an about the other thing we used to say what
What's
Reg
that?
meant,
What's
right?
that? What's that?
Real easygoing guys.
Mm, the acronym game was
Oh
strong
yeah.
as well. But so yeah, man.
And I had to
Oh, go ahead.
explain to my mom what Reg was, and I was like, I'll probably stick with just real easygoing guys. I think.
Oh shit! Sorry, mom. Spoiler alert. It was Mary Jane. But yeah, man. There was some good days, some fun times, just being
Oh, for
young,
sure,
and yeah, some good time. Great music too. I love
dude.
like if there was a place I could stream Reg, I would right now. Like it was
Dude,
fire. It was a lot of fun.
dude, yeah, man. At some point, I've talked to Troy about this before. Like we've got to put at least two out the handle out there. It's on YouTube, but that's about it. We have a really cringy music video for it.
That's the best, man. Man, maybe one day because I still haven't came back to Oklahoma since I moved out here to Cali. I haven't been back not once, and so maybe one
Dude,
day I can come back and get the reunion tour together and just
dude,
have a party.
dude. I'm no matter what we all of us just need to hang out again.
Oh yeah.
I've hung out with Troy. I actually saw him uh either like last night or the night before. Like he's been on Circle Lotus Media.
Oh, dope.
But like a lot of the other dudes, I just haven't like been able to keep up with, and it'd be awesome just to like hang out with all the old Reg mob again and stuff.
Yeah, maybe except the Nazi drummer. I don't know if you've heard about how that went down. I think
Ah,
maybe we can not invite him to the party, but I
I
think. But shout out Troy Allen Music. You know what I'm saying?
oh for sure,
He's
yeah,
killing it with like the folk and kind of country lane in Oklahoma. I don't even know what you call that, Red Dairy. I don't know. He's got his own
yeah,
little lane, and he's a talented musician too. So
yeah.
shout out Troy.
Absolutely, he's a super great dude, and yeah, he definitely deserves the attention more than someone else. But
Yeah, definitely, man. But no worries. Great memories, great times, and great music. And then to kind of keep going with this little origin story of how we got to sitting here in these chairs today. I put out a post on Facebook, and this is actually the first time I've actually used this method to get a guest on my show. But I put out because like I wanted to do a show about anime, but I didn't want to do a solo show about anime, and I didn't have like a specific person in mind as who I wanted to talk anime with. So I put out a post on Facebook, and I kept getting like these wishy-washy kind of weak-hearted replies, like in elementary school when a kid don't raise his hand all the way because he's shy.
yeah,
Like
oh
I kept
yeah,
getting
oh,
like
yeah,
those
dude,
kind of responses, like, "Oh, I've watched some anime. Anime's cool." And I was like, "That ain't the guest I want." And then you came through with the confident big dick energy answer of like anime's my shit. And I was like, this is the
Dude,
motherfucker right here.
dude, it's been my shit, man. I grew up with this. It's still a huge part of my life. Like, it's, uh, it's just a like, it's really cool that like now it's gained the popularity that like I've seen from it for like, forever, dude. I mean,
Yeah, and that's definitely one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is because so first off, just off the rip, I am a new anime fan. Like I
yeah,
literally got into anime during quarantine, like at the start of lockdown. I before that I hadn't seen really any anime besides like Boondocks, and then when I was a little kid, Yu-Gi-Oh. That was
yeah,
literally it. And then so I got into it. So I am a new anime fan, and that's why I wanted to have somebody well versed on the podcast to discuss it with. I didn't want two newbies talking
yeah,
together. That's not going to accomplish anything. But so what I wanted to get at though is how you said the rise in popularity, and like that was my perception. But I wasn't around from the beginning. I didn't know if it was one of those things where, like, once you get a red truck, you notice every red truck. So I didn't know if it was a
yeah.
thing because now I know about anime. It's like now I'm just noticing it. It was always this popular, or as you mentioned, it actually seems to be gaining popularity.
Yeah, so kind of just to give you my kind of history and backstory behind that is just like, I grew up and I grew up on the Pokemon, grew up on Dragon Ball Z, the classic Sailor Moon, like all that stuff, and I've just loved that style. I've loved that kind of, um, kind of all the energy that they got from that because it's all about like it's friendship, it's
Yeah,
super awesome fights, it's
yeah.
like it has all this stuff that I love, like it just like really connected with me,
I'll even
and
say
so
that most people love. Like, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
dude,
Yeah,
yeah, they're like if you were to take like the base like concept of anime and kind of just like put it in front of someone, like I don't think anyone argued like, yeah, no, that's cool. I'd be interested in doing that. There's a bunch of other like cultural things that make it kind of like that weird stepping stone to kind of like get. It's like,
yes.
man, that's really weird. I'm not really sure if I can like get that. And you're just like, I get it. Like I can't argue with you. I can't change a whole culture to like and put it in perspective that you can understand. But like
Yes. I love
but
it, bro. Like
yeah,
honestly, that's like the crux of most of what I want to talk about today. Yeah, like a lot of the cultural differences, what maybe stops from some people from getting into it. But yeah, everything you just hit on, man, I love it. I love it. I love it. Because those are all things I've noticed in my short new anime
yeah,
journey.
yeah,
That
dude.
I've noticed is yeah, a lot of just cultural and but I'm sorry. Sorry, keep going, brother.
No, no, it's all good, man. Like I'm here to have a conversation with you, like
Totally.
about the dude. But and so anyway, so like so growing up doing that, and dude, when I like middle school time, first of all, middle school time is just it's not good for anybody. Like straight up,
Like awkward for
yeah,
everyone. Like best
dude,
case scenario, it's still awkward.
yeah. Like there's nothing you can really do to make that cool. And if you're like into this weird niche of like Japanese cartoons and like there you have all of like these like extreme things that turns a lot of kids off to that stuff, and so you're basically labeled like the weird kid, like, oh, you watch that weird stuff. But like every other anime fan like during that time, like it's kind of like I kind of would relate to like a hockey fan. You can't just sort of be into hockey. It's like, no, you got to be into hockey.
That's a
um
great analogy.
Dude, and that's the thing is like all like it's pretty much just like me and a bunch of nerdy girls. Like that's honestly like you would talk about all the Inuyashas and all like the Full Metal Alchemist or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's like I love it because I love the fights, I love the storytelling, I love that stuff, and then but like again, you're just considered kind of like weird, and now you kind of see that throughout like the years, especially I mean I think just nerdy stuff in general. I mean superheroes weren't popular, um like
True.
like uh I would say 15, 20 years ago, especially like video
Yeah.
games, like esports wasn't really a thing, and now you can actually make a lot of money playing video games online, Twitch
True.
streaming,
Like
everything.
some could say that the nerds won the long game. Like even on my from my perspective, like I'm a sports card collector. That's pretty damn nerdy. That's back. Like the sports card
dude
industry is booming like more than ever. So
dude
like
and
all nerdy shit is just
mhm.
winning out in the long run.
Dude, and here's the thing: it's not only that; it's like now it's becoming like you see the popularity of it. Like,
Yeah,
I think you do a lot of like UFC stuff,
yeah,
and
yeah.
freaking Izzy is like all
Stylebender.
dude. Like his name, fuck, it's come from Avatar. He wears
Yep,
like Akatsuki stuff from Naruto all the time.
yep,
Like
yep.
he's like, and not only that, he's also like he's the middleweight champ, right?
Yeah, yeah, and he's going for the 205 belt. He's essentially the
Yeah,
best in the world or one of the best in the world. So like exactly, who's going to
yeah.
talk? You can't call him a pussy
Yeah,
or a nerd or
it's like him. You got freaking what's uh, I just forgot his name. Oh no. He played in Creed. What's his name? What's the
oh
actor's
yeah,
name?
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. Exactly. He has a line with like I think it was like Adidas. And it's like influenced by anime. Like he
Yeah.
talks about how like in Black Panther he wanted to style his stuff after Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, and
Oh,
it's like,
dope.
and you're just like, dude, where were you when I was a kid? And this wasn't cool, you
Yeah.
know?
The new generation got it good. Yeah, or like even
Yeah.
like I've recently started skating again during quarantine and like you'd be surprised how like much anime is tied into like the skateboard world like the
Yeah,
as far
dude.
as cultures go and like grip tapes and decks and just clothing and all that shit. It's like and then even like hip hop, like I think like Lil Uzi Vert's first like mixtape that like came out and got him real big. He was like the cover of it was like him as an anime character.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
dude.
so yeah, just
Yeah.
you're right. That crossover, that bleeding into pop culture, that accessibility and acceptability, yeah, definitely gone to a whole new level. Now let me ask you this, because I didn't experience it on the anime front, but I've experienced it on a number of other fronts. Where like when something goes mainstream, right?
Hmm.
9 times out of 10, it gets watered down or loses some of the or have you
Yeah.
experienced any of that, or do you feel that way at all?
Well, so you can say yes and no. I don't think the industry did because here's the thing. It's like it's becoming more popular here, but in Japan it's been this way. Like
True.
it's always been this way. So and there's huge industries like forced around anime. And here's another thing is like and I think a lot of what people kind of don't I would say don't understand, but like don't really kind of like equate to is that anime is not really like a genre. Is you see stuff on like Netflix where it says like, oh, anime like influence stuff or anime like genre like category. It's like that's the style, but that's not really genres. Inside the
It's a
genres, you have horror.
medium.
Yeah, exactly. It's a mean a perfect word for it. But like you have like horror anime, you got
Yeah.
big shonen anime, and like so you kind of see a more of like one side to another. Like I would say, so for a long time, the big shonen anime are One Piece, Bleach, and Naruto. Like
Okay.
those are like huge. For a long time, they were the best selling manga, the best selling shows for
I'm
years and
currently
years and
watching
years.
Bleach right now.
Dude, honestly, Bleach had like some of the especially like the Soul Society arc is like some of the best shonen like can get. Like I dude,
And when you say shonen, honestly, bro, flush that out a little bit for me. That's a new term for me, and I'm sure maybe for some listeners or viewers as well. Go
yeah.
ahead and explain shonen a little bit.
So there's a magazine company in Japan called Shonen Jump, and
Okay, I've heard. Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, and they're super known for putting out basically these like compilation. I have a couple. I might pull it out, but there's basically like these big old kind of like magazines with like an issue of like six manga, and so you would pick this up every week and you go in and you read the new chapter of Naruto or
Okay.
One Piece or Dragon Ball Z or whatever. And so, but it kind of there became like a popularity to do that. So a lot of the biggest shows came from this manga stuff. That's where usually
Oh,
like
okay.
and so like so that's why we consider the stuff to be like a shonen manga. It's usually if they're in Shonen Jump, if they're like licensed or created by Shonen Jump, we kind of refer that to as shonen anime.
Are they? And that's kind of like the godfathers of anime, if you will, like or no?
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing is like you get every like 10 or so years, you really get like a big show that comes out and kind of like stands above the rest. Actually, in the
Yeah.
last like 5 years, like we've gotten a bunch of just shows that are just incredible.
Okay.
So you can kind of, I feel like for it to kind of start out, the Dragon Ball Z would pretty much be like probably one of the top of all time. There's other ones that like don't really equate to like over here in America, but like
Okay.
Dragon Ball Z is the one that pretty much like it
Universal.
was, yeah, like everybody knew that. That Pokemon was another one, just because
Yeah,
like I mean
yeah.
it's still going on today.
Oh yeah, the amount of money that Pokemon generated, I mean, it's probably enough to run a country. Like,
Dude, they legit do like it. Like you can go and like you can buy anything you want.
oh yeah,
Like
it's like that scene in
like
Spaceballs when he's like, "It's the Spaceballs flamethrower." Like,
yeah, dude. Honestly, like I've seen stuff where you can get like a Pokemon wedding dress. You can get like
That's fire.
toilets. Like it's the amount of stuff you can get from this one company is stupid. Honestly, it's just dumb. But
It's business, is what it is,
yeah,
man. Yeah, yeah,
true.
for sure. Man, so I kind of wanted to talk about this, just taking it a little step back. How you were talking about how when you were a kid, it wasn't as accepted, and it was kind of like, maybe even looked down upon, or just definitely not understood. And I kind of wanted to share my experiences, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that experienced this, or maybe even you did as well. Like, my parents would like specifically tell me not to watch that shit. Like they would act like it was like bad, or like I don't
Dude,
even
yeah,
know what, like, you know what I mean? And I'll
yeah,
full on say my dad is an asshole, and I don't even talk to him anymore. And like I'm sure it was more him than my mom. But so like it wasn't like it was this great dude. He was an asshole, so like that's like
yeah.
a caveat.
I got yeah,
But like a lot of parents, like a lot of kids out there had asshole parents who were like, "Oh, don't fucking watch that Japanese
yeah.
bullshit." And like, especially in Oklahoma, like a place where we grew up.
Yeah, and like, so I actually grew up in before high school or before middle school, I should say. I grew up in El Paso, Texas. That's where I was born
Oh,
and raised.
okay, okay,
And so like, um, so my mom is Mexican,
okay.
and it like, so she was
Did you think it was
very
weird, or
like, well, it was weird because like I knew a lot of other parents who did like their kids to watch that stuff, and obviously my mom put like restrictions on certain things, like not a lot of bloody stuff, not anything crazy, but she actually liked, or I would say liked, she let me watch those, like she let me watch anime more than she like. I wasn't allowed to watch SpongeBob. If that
that's
like
funny.
it,
My mom didn't like
yeah,
me watching SpongeBob either, and it's funny because I always thought she was tripping. And you watch it back now, and there's like some little slick ass shit
yeah.
that they be sliding in there.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely do, and also I just think my mom just got annoyed by by SpongeBob, and she's like, you know what? Nah, I'm just not dealing with it, so you can't watch it either.
When it
All
does
right, mom.
show kind of, when you look at the difference between like Japanese and American cartoons, just like it honestly like makes sense why their society's smarter. Like they give them like more like relevant, like good topics. Like I don't know where, like our cartoons are like absolute nonsense. And some would say
Yeah,
like, oh well, like it's a cartoon. Do you want it to not be nonsense? But like
yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
It kind of sets the tone for a nonsense society.
I think there's a lot to like to that, because I will say my top three favorite shows of all time, two of them are American cartoons.
Oh
It's
yeah,
my the first one is very anime based. It's Avatar: The Last Airbender.
yes, yes.
Has have you watched that one yet?
I did, and I actually we'll earmark that for later. I definitely want to get
Yeah.
into some
Well,
Avatar.
well, well, dude, I could talk about that forever. But number one favorite show of all time. The second
Great,
one
fantastic.
second one is BoJack Horseman.
Okay, I haven't got into that, but I'm aware of it. I know
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
is.
It's and those so those two are like two American ones, and then all the rest of them, like I'll get into them, but like the rest of my list is pretty much anime. But like the thing about it is that while yes, I think there's a lot of like weird society things that makes anime, I wouldn't say smarter. I just think that Japan in general kind of like puts a lot of focus on schooling and making sure that
Oh
like
yeah,
their society is kind of like more on the cusp, and so you're getting so you don't really have to talk down to stuff, and there's not also a lot of religious kind of blockage, because that was also kind of a big thing. Bible people don't particularly want you to watch the devil,
Yeah, or even talking
anime,
about
whatever.
spirits and ghosts. Like, I
Yeah,
feel like
exactly.
every anime talks about spirits and ghosts and shit.
Yeah,
Like there's like weird Bible thumpers like that's fucking witchcraft. Like,
yeah,
like
dude. And
true story, irrelevant story, but true story. My mom, I went to like a private Christian school when I was like really young. I'm talking like kindergarten
yeah,
age. And my mom would like watch the after school program to like help pay for my tuition.
hmm
And she brought the movie. It was like back in the '90s, so we brought like a VHS of Cinderella for the kids to watch.
dude,
She got scolded and like reprimanded and like almost fired for like trying to teach the kids witchcraft for like bippity boppity boo. I
dude,
shit you not, real story.
dude. I have something very similar. So I went to I went to a bunch of private school before, pretty much before I went to high school, and one of the ones I went to was a Catholic, of a private school, and because I celebrated Halloween, or like I dressed up for Halloween, and I was even going to like my church to
Yeah,
like do like a fall fest or whatever. Like they basically like told me like you're going to go to hell, like straight up. Like I'm
yeah,
in second grade, dude.
yeah.
I'm like.
Like you've
I
been
just
wiping
wanted
your
to
ass
just
for like 2 years. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's like I'm not like what are you talking about? And then my mom was like, yeah, we're out of this one. So then I ended up going to like another private school. But yeah, it's like it's
that
a
shit is
huge.
ridiculous.
It really is, man. It
Like,
really
like
is.
I
And
don't
it's
knock anybody. Like worship whatever God you want, believe in whatever
yeah,
afterlife you want. But like doing that type of shit to kids, because I got a list of stories like that a mile long growing up in
yeah,
small town Christian Oklahoma. The shit that these people tell kids is psycho. But anyway, that's a
yeah,
story for another day. But I feel you that religious kind of cultural barrier, if you will, I feel like did block a lot of like kids
yeah,
from like being able to watch it or being
yeah,
allowed to watch it or whatever.
yeah. But it's also really funny. A lot of my biggest like anime or biggest anime heads I know are like usually come from super strict Christian homes. It's
Really?
really weird. There's like a weird crossover there. So I don't know the science behind it, but there's definitely some weird connection to that.
I'll step up and play armchair psychologist real quick. I think
Okay,
that
okay,
I got a theory here. It's like it's just a whole new portal, right? Like it's almost like if you've been living your whole life in black and gray, and then you can like, oh, here's this thing that talks about spirits and like has a little bit of cleavage, or you know what I'm saying? And like,
yeah. Usually,
I
usually a little bit more than just a little.
yeah, and it's like, but it's kind of you can convince your parents that you're just up in your room watching cartoons and like they're out of the
Yeah,
loop, like they don't even fucking realize.
yeah,
And so I can see there being a scenario where like every website in the house is blocked or whatever, besides like the anime website. It's like a portal into like that other all the shit that's been
yeah.
like forbidden. I don't know.
No, dude. I could totally see that. You're just like stranglehold to just like you have to just do this one thing because that's the only thing that matters, and then you're able to have a little bit of just like kind of look through the window like, oh,
Yeah,
that's what the other kids are doing. So yeah,
exactly,
no,
exactly, man, exactly.
I definitely see that for sure.
So, just kind of getting into some just basic questions here. What was the first anime that little bitty Milo saw that sparked that lifelong interest? And then this may be the same answer, but like, and then what is your favorite anime?
So I think so. Like I was kind of saying earlier, like it was mostly the Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, Sailor
Yeah.
Moon, like those uh kind of like early 90s shows, the one that was first like you're able to actually watch on TV and stuff. But I
That's
think
right.
like the one that really like a little clicked is actually one I have a tattoo of it on my back.
Oh, dope.
But it's a show called Full Metal Alchemist, which I recommend to anybody who you're
Yeah.
trying to get into anime. Is Full Metal Alchemist is the best one. It's the one that
Okay.
is the
I've been
least.
wanting to start it. Like
Yeah,
I've almost clicked on it a few times. There's just so many. It's like hard to like know where to
dude.
go, and it's a commitment. You know what I mean?
it's great because there's not a lot of Japanese stuff because it doesn't it doesn't take place in Japan.
Oh, okay.
It's it has a lot of actually like there's a lot of like little things that I think if you're growing up in America, you can kind of relate to.
Okay.
And it's a lot deeper than just guys fighting. There's obviously like really cool fights and there's really cool
Yeah.
powers and stuff, but it's more of kind of like a thoughtful kind of show, and it talks about like big kind of questions. I kind of give you a little synopsis of like the show, but basically they're in this world. There's just there's alchemy. Alchemy is just a real thing, and so you have people who are alchemists, and usually the rules for alchemy is that
I'm listening.
in order
Keep talking.
yeah the there's a rule of equivalent exchange where in order to have something you have to also give something of equal or give something of equal value, which
Okay.
is like and it explains it a lot better within the show, but it's
No,
essentially
that makes sense. It's just kind of like the whole equal opposite reaction thing
Yeah.
in physics. Like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And so but you kind of get to you can use these different things like transmutation circles is what they're called, and you can like make buildings out of it, or you can
Oh shit.
you can just create things out of nothing. You just need to give away your
So
energy.
like a lot of concepts that are in a lot of video games probably got taken from shit like that.
Yeah, but I will say like alchemy is it's just like a very old thing. It's been going for however long, and so they use a lot of those like things like the Philosopher's Stone is
Yeah.
a huge part of the show and stuff, and so it takes stuff that you kind of know, and you're like, oh, I've heard about that. I've seen Harry Potter, so I sort of get it. But then
Exactly.
it kind of turns it on its head a little bit, and it's phenomenal. It talks a
Dope.
lot about like kind of like death in a way that is a more kind of real tangible thing, which and so it's like as like a kid and you're hearing all these like cool ideas, and you're just like, wow, I'm kind of like this is a lot. This is really, really cool. And there's
Yeah.
not like I said, there's not a lot of like just random like sexual stuff in there, so you can watch it like with other family members and not
Yeah. Be
um
weird.
yeah, there's not like it's like gore. It's bloody, but it's not like gory. So it like treads the line really well. It's a phenomenal show. It's not my favorite.
I'm adding
Yeah.
that one to the list. That's gonna be my
Dude.
next one because, like, legit, like whenever I'm trying to pick a new anime, as a new anime fan, and I'm sure other new anime fans out there experience this, because you there's anime that you've like heard of, and then it's like, oh well, like this one looks cool, but I've never heard
Yeah.
of it, and I
Yeah.
feel like I need to get caught up on the shit that everybody always talks about, or like it feels like
Yeah.
there's like it can be like, I don't want to say overwhelming because people exaggerate that
But
shit.
but I mean, it can be. I've a list a mile long of like classic animes that I still haven't seen.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, and it's an infinite
Yeah.
like wormhole you can go down. Yeah,
Yeah, and then but then like while that's happening, it's like, oh, I just finished this last show, and so I want to watch this other thing, and like I like other stuff besides anime, so it's like I have to like
yeah,
try to fit
exactly.
all the stuff inside, and it's just like, wow, it's dude, it can definitely be overwhelming for sure.
Yeah, like paralysis by analysis. No,
Yeah.
exactly. Because like I'm not even the type of person that like watches TV all day. So it's like I gotta pick something I want to watch for like an hour before bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah.
All right. So, bro, random question. I'm gonna bring it full circle though. Do you like Indian food?
I would say that I haven't had a lot of Indian food.
Okay.
Like I've like, I mean, I know of one place to get Indian food in Norman, Oklahoma. So
Yeah, no,
I
I feel you. So this is why I ask. I compare anime to Indian food, and this is what I mean by that. It's when I eat Indian food, it touches parts of my palate that like no other like genre of food
okay.
does. Like you taste flavors when you eat Indian food that you're not gonna taste at all in American cuisine or even other Asian cuisines. It's a very, very like distinct flavor that you can't get nowhere else. And like that's what I felt like the first time I started watching anime. I was like, this I can't relate this to like any other viewing experience. Like I don't know,
Yeah,
it's
for sure,
I don't know,
dude.
maybe a shitty analogy, but it's just like in my head it makes it
No,
like it's
I
like
get
this.
it.
It reminds me of anything. It's like you can only get it from that one source, and it's like so distinct and unique. And it's like I don't know, it just like it scratches that itch that other shit doesn't scratch.
Yeah,
Like I don't know,
dude.
it's so different from American cartoons. It's obviously it's different from unanimated TV. It's its own thing.
Yeah. No, and like there's a bunch of really cool actually a lot of like new American shows are taking a like are people like me who grew up with anime. So
Yeah.
now they're starting to implement it and stuff. I mean, Avatar is an American show and it straight up looks like an anime.
So
Like
let's talk about that, bro. Let's talk about that because I mean, I literally was going to ask you this question, but it's fun. It's interesting to me to hear you like describe it that way. So it sounds to me like you don't consider Avatar anime.
I I I consider it like anime adjacent. Like obviously it
Okay.
takes a huge influence from anime, the style, the kind of theming, is like if you like growing up, you know, I could show this to somebody and I would be like, do you like anime? Well, here, you can watch this too. And it would work. But the how I kind of like define anime, and this is just a personal thing. There's
Yeah.
actually like a lot of weird debates
Oh, I
about
knew it.
this too, and but I feel that anime is cartoons or animations that come from Japan. That's it like the whole name is Japanimation. Like it's supposed to be like from Japan, and it has that culture and that influence and style to it. So like I definitely put stuff like Avatar: The Last Airbender or like the old school Teen Titans or some other stuff that actually was there. They had stuff that was animated
Like
in
elements.
yeah, exactly. And like they do some outsourcing to have those companies from Japan like animate certain scenes and stuff like that from those, but it's an American company or an American like broadcast network like
Yeah.
making and showing the show.
Yeah,
So it's
like
like,
Avatar's
yeah,
Nickelodeon. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
no.
yeah,
So
dude.
that's super cool, and that's why I wanted to have somebody who was like well versed on here. I didn't want another like rookie who's just like spouting opinions. I
Yeah,
don't know. So because yeah, I even as a amateur fan, like I did consider it anime, but I also like acknowledged and obviously realized that it was different from other anime.
yeah,
So yeah, no, just I definitely wanted to just kind of get on that, like hit on it, because I or like I feel like it's you know what it is, bro. It's like
what?
Panda Express is to like the food Chinese people eat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
you know what I'm saying? It's Americanized.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
there isn't families at home in Beijing right now eating some orange chicken. You know what I'm saying? But it's
yeah. No, it's definitely just like you see where the idea came from, but you can tell it's not like the genuine article. It could be really good.
yeah,
I mean, it could be Mexican food. You can have really good Mexican food, but like you're not going to get the real Mexican food in Norman, Oklahoma. You're like it's if you go to El Paso, you go to
yeah,
like
for sure.
California is like it's like you're getting you can actually get real Mexican food, and there's definitely a difference. Like
Yeah, there's a
not saying
difference
that
for
stuff.
sure.
It's not saying that stuff is bad. It's just different.
It's just different for sure, for sure. But yeah, because I mean, we both love Avatar, and it's a great show. But I
Yeah,
definitely,
dude.
I wanted to. I'm so glad you brought that up organically because that was literally like something I wanted to talk about for sure. Just because it is, I don't know, is that like a debate that goes down in anime
Dude.
circles, or is that pretty
Yeah.
unanimously agreed upon?
Yeah, no. Anime fans are also us weebs are very opinionated about stuff, and so like any other nerdy thing, you have people who argue about dumb shit.
Or just
Like,
anything in general, bro.
yeah,
Like I
yeah,
mean,
for
skaters
sure.
argue what size board or what brand of shoes, or and then like even in the sports card community, it's almost unbearable. Like
Dude.
the
Yeah,
random little
man.
niche opinions that people have their heels dug in on. Yeah, but it's fun, right? Like
Yeah. Oh
it's
yeah,
part
dude.
of
I
what
mean,
makes it fun.
yeah. It's like that's why we like it is so that we can like have those debates with somebody who gets it, and you're like, the reason why I like this is because of this, and they're like, well, that doesn't make sense with this thing. You're like, well, fair, but what about this? And then you actually have like real like discussions, even though I wish that they would sometimes be less toxic.
Yeah, no, I agree,
But
brother. I can definitely relate to that. Sports, shout out Sports Card Twitter. But
oh
um,
yeah, dude.
man, so speaking of debates, I know like the most obvious generic mainstream anime debate is like sub versus dub, right? Like
Yeah.
subtitles versus overdub voices in English.
Hmm.
Go, I'm gonna just let you go. I know you have
Okay,
strong opinions on this.
dude.
I'm gonna wind you up and let you loose, partner.
So dub versus sub, I think is kind of like I think that it needs there's nuance to it that people don't really think. They're like all dub is bad, so because all dub is bad I will only watch sub. And I'm more in the camp that I enjoy sub anime more than dub anime, mostly because the voices match a little bit better, the cadences of stuff kind of work, and the fact that the jokes that are usually, whenever they're dubbed, they're usually Americanized, and so you don't actually get the full joke, and it doesn't really make sense in the context of what's going on in the scene. But
Yeah.
but I'm also dyslexic, and so reading subtitles sucks. And so it like
Oh man, what a curse for an anime fan.
yeah, I mean I'm able to like figure stuff out now a lot better. But there are like really good dubs out there that if your only thing is like I just can't watch the Naruto dub, is like fair. I can't watch the Naruto dub either. Like the Naruto's voice is terrible. Like his like and I'm not throwing shade. That's just like how they wrote him, and it's just I don't want to listen to it.
Okay. Okay.
But but like I
So
will say,
so I haven't tried a sub yet. I've only, you know
okay,
what I'm saying, I'm new to it.
yeah,
And it's at first it seemed a little intimidating, but I really want to give it a try for this reason. So on my Netflix, I just have subtitles turned on in general.
yeah,
It just so even when I watch dub, it still has subtitles, and I
yeah,
totally get what you mean about like the jokes, because like the word subtitles won't even match like the
yeah,
English translation, and then like
exactly,
sometimes one will be way better than the other, and that's whenever it clicked for me, like, oh, this is like what people mean by they
yeah,
like sub, like that
yeah.
little awkward translation, or yeah, just like the syntax structure, or
Hmm.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, and like I said, there are really good dubs out there. I mean, off the top of my head, you have Cowboy Bebop, one of the greatest shows of all time. Freaking Samurai Champloo, another one. Just like those are two phenomenal shows with phenomenal dubs that like they took time and effort and made like really cool. Plus, I just think they're great shows. Um, then a new show called The Great Pretender on Netflix. It's a Netflix original, and it's
Oh,
phenomenal. It's animated, amazing. They actually use a lot of the dubbing, like because of the fact it's kind of taking place where people speak different languages, and so they use that dubbing as like an actual like part of the story. So I love that show.
okay,
But
okay.
then like it's really rough to go back and watch, like I said, like Naruto or like One Piece, and just like I'm just
Yeah, no, because I mean,
not
it
I
makes
can't do it.
sense. It makes sense because it's like, have you ever like been scrolling through your guide and there's like a movie you like, and you click on it without even thinking too much, and
Yeah,
it turns out it's the Spanish version, and it's like, yeah,
yeah,
it's got like the wrong, like Shrek doesn't sound like Shrek. It sounds like some
yeah,
random Mexican dude. Like I
yeah.
could
Or
understand how.
or you turn like it like on like TBS or whatever, you have Die Hard, and it's just like the censored version of Die Hard. You're just like, I don't want to listen to this. This is not.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. It'd be like a hood movie on TV, and it'll be saying words like baloney or some words that like a hood
Yeah.
dude has never said. No, I feel you, brother. Yeah, so I definitely understand the argument. I definitely wanted to get, like, and it seems to me like, let me ask you this actually. Is there like super experienced anime fans like you, like yourself, that are like staunchly like are on the dub side of thing, or it seems to me like more dub is kind of for beginners, and as you get more into it, you kind of graduate on up to sub, or I don't know.
Um, So I think a lot of that more has to do with like once you become like a big enough fan, you start to want to watch a lot of shows, and not all shows get dubbed. There's
exactly.
licensing things that happen, and so if you want to watch a lot of these shows, you have to watch it, subbed. And so at that point, then you kind of like are able to see, oh wait, this show kind of actually like it actually sounds really cool, or it sounds a lot better than if like this was in English stuff, or like you watch something like subbed first, then it turns out to be dubbed later, and you watch and you're like, that those voices don't make sense to me, because I've already kind of established who like that character sounds like,
and we know which one the original is, right? I think that factors in. Like even if you're pro dub, like by definition, you have to acknowledge that like that's not like the intended creation. Like you know what I mean? It's by definition altered and not uncut. Like it's like a filter.
Like the lip flaps is what it's called in animation. Whenever like they're actually like talking, they're like part of the whole dub thing that kind of sucks is that they can't just, they're trying to match those lip flaps, and so they will do like weird cadences, or they'll use weird words, or they'll add like extra stuff in there just because that's how the animation is. And you're just like, you're adding like a whole bunch of random stuff for no reason.
Yeah, it's like a round peg in a square hole. I feel you. Yeah, for sure, man. No, that's interesting. Let me ask you this. I just thought of this. I didn't even have this question written down. So, like, NBA players, when they, like, from overseas and they get drafted, like, almost always they say, like, oh, I learned English from watching American TV.
Yeah.
Watching as much anime as you've watched over the years, have you learned just a little bit of Japanese? Just like
yeah, I have. Like,
that's dope. That's dope.
I'm not going to say like it's an impressive amount. Like I'll like, I can hear words. I'm like, oh, I've heard that before. I've seen like you just kind of like make connections, and then there's also some that like become memes, and so you're suddenly now I understand the meme because like in a lot of Japanese slice of life animes, they use the word baka. They use the word baka all the time, and that just means stupid. So it's like, and so like as soon as I hear that, I'm like, oh, he just called him stupid, and so you kind of get that stuff. It's more, I think the like bigger things that I've learned out of it is more cultural stuff. Like kind of like the suffixes that are used for that might not be the right word, but whenever you're talking to somebody in Japan, you usually add like san or chan or sama at the very end of their name because you're showing respect. It's like saying Mr. or
like
Mrs.
usted in Spanish, usted is like the, for those that know what that means, but like usted is like a respectful. I feel you. No, that makes sense to pick up on that.
Yeah, and so you kind of and those actually will give you a lot of like context clues to how that person feels about one person. So like if like let's say a person calls says like a Sakura-chan, that means they're either really familiar or that person is kind of like they see them as like a small or like a younger sibling or someone who is looking up to them. While you say like son would be more for like if I'm talking to you, since I feel we're friends and everything, I'll say like Dominic san and be like, okay, well that I know what level you are. If like I'm talking to a head of a corporation, I'm going to say sama because that person has a huge amount of respect, and it goes back to like that like just kind of how Japanese like the hierarchy of people, and it's it's really interesting and kind of cool to find out, and then you know about food because dude, I don't know what they do, but anime has the best looking food I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, like seriously, I shit you not. Like every time I watch Naruto, like it makes me crave ramen, and my wife doesn't like ramen, so like I never usually end up going through with it. Yeah, I know, and like I live here in San Jose, and there's like a million ramen shops here. So like, I don't know, but you're right. The food, they make it look so damn good in anime.
Yeah, I will say Oklahoma actually has one of like my favorite ramen places.
Really?
There's a place called Goro's up in the plaza, and Dude, holy shit. The pork ramen is the best thing I've eaten probably my whole life.
Yeah, no,
It's
I
so
need to
good.
hit it up. I need to hit it up. I eat pho more commonly than I eat ramen just because it's
Ah,
closer to my house. But
yeah,
I do love me some good ramen.
dude. Yeah.
Man, even in you're talking about learning Japanese culture through watching anime. Even in my short time watching anime, I've really kind of just been learning a lot of, like you said, how they see death, how they see the afterlife, um, how because it's not necessarily a religion. It's almost kind of like reminds me of like Dia de los Muertos and then the
Yeah.
Hispanic culture. Like they believe, certain spirits, get stuck here and on their way to the afterlife. Like,
Yeah.
things of, and a lot of cultures believe that. I mean, I think Catholics believe it. And
Hmm.
it's kind of like, I don't know, man. I'm one of those guys that like, I'm kind of like agnostic. Like I leave everything kind of open
Yeah.
ended. Like I don't believe I really know shit about that, but it does get interesting whenever
Yeah.
like multiple cultures on different sides of the world that speak different languages have like a common greatest common factor, and it's like that kind of points to
Yeah.
maybe some truth there. Like I don't know, like it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. No, I mean, like it's definitely kind of cool. Like the main religion, quote unquote, in Japan is Shintoism. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that's
yeah,
I
that's right.
um and it's like it and it is really cool because it's more of just like this is just what happens when you die. Like there's not any kind of like you don't have to go to like a church really. You just kind of go to a shrine and you ask and you pray for stuff. And they're just gods and demons and stuff. And it's just what it is. And that's um and like me, I grew up freaking Southern Baptist. So
I
like
know all about that world, man.
yeah. And so it like and so that is such a contradictory thing to what I grew up like knowing, in the fact that like there is a lot of other religions that have, or just a lot of just society, just like norms that like we don't aren't even aware of, but yet they have this kind of like similar things. And yeah, I totally agree that there's some common thread in there that like
Yeah,
at the very beginning it was all one thing, but then it was like a game of telephone where they're just like trying to
yeah.
like trying to figure out what the last person said.
Yeah, no, no, definitely that's true. Kind of pivoting here, and I know kind of the answer to this is it came from manga, but like where did that very distinct anime style of art originate from? Like was there just one guy that drew like that and then it spread? Like or did was there like I
Sort
don't know,
of,
it seems
honestly.
okay, do
It
you know
Yeah.
a little history on that?
I
Educate
I
me.
um I know a vague history about like stuff. I'm super just into animation and kind of just like not just Japanese anime, but also American anime, and kind of like just like the process of and the business side of stuff. It's super interesting to me. Um but one of like the very first anime was what's it called? It's like Astro Boy.
Astro Boy.
I think is what it's called. But yeah, this one dude essentially like manga was always kind of what was basically just a thing. Is like that was the normal kind of like entertainment. Growing up,
Yeah,
instead of going to comic books, you got manga just because
yeah.
like that. And then if I remember right, this guy was the first guy to do did Astro Boy in the '60s, I think,
Oh
and
wow,
basically
that long ago.
yeah. And because like that also kind of like ended up happening with Speed Racer and stuff was like right after this.
Oh, that's
So
right. That's right.
yeah, so you see that there's like this distinct style that's starting to kind of become a more of a norm for anime, and so that's kind of what. And I might be just talking out of my ass here for a little bit, so
It's
hopefully
cool.
this
I'm
is
all
all
for
right.
bro science and bro history. I'm all for it.
Yeah. But from what I remember, basically this one guy kind of like made this show Astro Boy, and it kind of just
Okay.
like spread and turned out like became like a super popular thing.
Yeah, because in it would be like what it would be like in America is of like because at first there was Family Guy an American Dad and Cleveland Show, and they're
Yeah.
all like the same kind of universe, like animation
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
But it would
Yeah,
be
dude.
like if that just kept growing and like
Well, it
fucking
has, honestly.
okay,
Dude,
okay.
in American animation, you watch like a whole bunch of other shows. You can watch Gravity Falls, The Owl House. I'm trying to think of like other stuff. There's a bunch of other just like adult animation that take that very similar style from what Family Guy.
Oh.
And what also we can even like argue what like Simpsons did.
Yeah.
Like before that, and they kind of just like ran with it, and now that's kind of become like the norm is this kind of digital looking, kind sort of like almost realistic, but still kind of cartoony,
Yeah,
feeling
walk
kind of,
that
but just
line.
like yeah, but just also just kind of like really like exaggerated. It's more like just exaggerated, kind of like now world nowadays, and that's like a normal thing.
Yeah, no, that's interesting to think about, man. I mean, being a fan of animation and the business side of it, man, you have to be a fan of South Park, right? That's
Dude,
mind blowing what those guys
yeah,
do. Like they
yeah,
started
dude.
out cutting out construction paper and shit.
Dude, yeah, and man, and like just putting on VHS tapes and everything. It's just like, and they turn that into like an insane like phenomenon. Like it's something it's still going on today. Like it's one of those things, and they've also kind of not pigeonholed it to be like, we have to meet these certain standards. It's like no, it's South Park. Like
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
your standards.
They have somehow, not even somehow, they've earned it through probably 9,000 lawsuits, but they've just like gotten this bulletproof status, and I love it. And I feel like in 2020, it's so needed, and I love that it's still a thing. And
Yeah,
yeah, and just like, and it's cool talking about how animation styles, like, you can't really copy that. I mean, I guess you can, but I mean, it would be so like obvious and like, I don't know, that's like just such a unique, iconic animation style that they pretty much, I don't know if they created it or not, but they definitely,
yeah,
marked it down in history. Man. And then also I wanted to get into, because I love it, but I love it in like kind of like laughing with it, not at it kind of way, like anime music. Like
dude,
yeah, let's talk anime music a little bit.
for sure.
Like just like I don't know, it's so it's hilarious. It's like 80s rock, but like mixed, like I don't know, the voices and just
Yeah,
like the cadences and then
dude.
speaking of South Park, I think they summarized it the best whenever they parodied it and they were like, "Let's fighting love," and like that shit. I don't
Yeah.
know, that shit always
Yeah,
kills me.
no, but like that's the like yeah, it's I've had this thought for the past like 3 years now that I think Japanese guitarists have the best riffs. Straight up.
They're
Like
amazing.
they're incredible, and like um and there's also like a weird musical thing where a lot of songs like the verses will start off very minor, like very kind of dark and edgy, but then the chorus happens and becomes major, it becomes like a little like pop song, and it's just like a normal thing. It's like why is this a thing? But then it's just so cool, and sometimes it's so intense, and like it pumps you up for that stuff, for like
It,
the
it's
show you're
so
about to
good.
watch.
Like
Yeah,
it's so good. I think I'm gonna make an anime music playlist for like when I'm bowl skating. Like it's just gonna make me feel like
oh
I'm flying, bro. Like I just
dude,
it matches, and it matches so well just because like I swear if I was hearing that music just like in headphones without watching anything, I would
yeah,
be probably envisioning like some epic fight scene, or you know what I mean? It just the
oh
music
dude.
matches like so perfectly.
Man, I'm seeing my playlist because man, I do that's my running playlist is just like
Yeah.
anime music. It's just like and just like keeping that freaking just like level up there the whole time.
Yeah, yeah, no, and it's so catchy. It's so catchy, and like it's got you like wanting to sing along with it, but like you can't. Or at least I'll speak for myself. Like I'm like wanting to like sing along so fucking bad, and I just like can't
But you just
speak
like don't know the
Japanese.
words.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just like fuck yeah, you sing that shit, bro. That shit is fire. Oh man. Oh yeah,
Dude,
no,
yeah, no,
like
for sure,
me and my
dude.
wife, we like crack up slash like rock out like every single time, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell
And
yeah. I
then
mean,
and then
yeah.
like the hip hop kind of ones too always kill me too.
Oh,
But they're
dude,
fire. It's not bad. It's just
yeah.
so like
Have
out there.
have you watched Samurai Champloo or have you heard about Samurai Champloo?
No, I have not. I haven't even heard of it.
Bro, okay. So if you're liking like if you like the hip hop, honestly, I think a lot of just like style, just this whole show just oozes style. So
Dope.
but check out Samurai Champloo. It basically it's like what happens if rap was in like the feudal age of Japan. That is
Oh,
pretty
okay.
much the pretty much like I wouldn't say the premise of the show, but that's just like the setting
A setting.
where like
Okay, that sounds.
yeah,
Is that on Netflix?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix.
Do you? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I can definitely send you some stuff and you'll be like, okay,
Yeah, yeah. Please
this
do send me the playlist, some links, all that, bro. I'm here for it.
bro. Pretty sure that it's actually on that playlist too.
Oh, cool, cool. Good looking out, man. And then, man, I just want to honestly, kind of real quick before we go, what, man? Because I've also been rewatching Boondocks, and just
Bro,
what a
bro,
just clash of worlds of genius in just,
yeah,
it's so good.
yeah, dude. I know a vague history about like how Boondocks was, and it's the same kind of thing where I think it's that anime adjacent where it's not like I know that they used a company out of I think Korea. I think they used it out of Seoul, Korea,
Oh wow.
South Korea to like do all the animation stuff. But it's this one dude, and I can't remember the name, but it's like he was one of the very few like black and like animation leads,
Oh
and kind of
wow.
like and he was able to kind of like honestly there's a really cool guy on YouTube who focuses a lot on like black animation and kind of like the rise of that because like dude
Dope.
like the Proud Family,
Oh
bro, the
yeah, yeah.
Proud Family had like if you actually look at like what that show did, it's like it's incredible like
Oh
they
yeah, me and my wife have been rewatching that too. It's on Disney Plus. Yeah,
yeah dude
it's so good to watch back too. That's funny. We like very recently we've been watching some Proud Family.
dude dude honestly like I just go up and look up like any of their like guests on there and you'll see like oh every like notable black actor and actress is in this show at some point and it is dude, and
Yeah,
like
it's
it
dope.
caused like a or I would say like it didn't cause like a huge like uproar because that's not what it is but it was like it was there was a huge upset in just like the animation industry because of this one dude who worked on a whole bunch of like other like Disney animations and I think Nickelodeon animations and stuff like that. Again, one of the few like black animators, and then was like basically showed like he could do it and pitched this show and became like it
Wait
became the
up.
Proud Family.
So are you saying the same dude is responsible for Proud Family and Boondocks, or is it a
I
different dude?
I believe so. I might be wrong about that, but
Damn. If
I'm
so,
like
that's so
85%
epic.
sure.
That's
Yeah.
so legendary. If so, wow, I had no idea. That's so cool, man. I just yeah, I don't know, man. That like the Boondocks is like what happens when like I don't know. It's like one of those stoned conversations where you're like, oh, what if there was an anime about like hood ratchet shit
Yeah,
and
dude.
like
Yeah.
and then, but it also like taught like the most real woke lessons ever and like and everybody like yeah, but it's like one of those things that like never comes to fruition. But
Yeah.
they actually pulled it off and they pulled it
Yeah.
off like so good.
Dude. Yeah. No, and the fact that like it like they were able to talk about a lot of stuff that like
Yeah.
yeah you couldn't really talk about like
Oh yeah.
honestly
Yeah.
and you
Oh
don't want
man.
and you definitely don't want someone who's not like who doesn't understand that culture to be the one who's voicing that stuff like that's
Yeah.
I mean because
Yeah.
that could have very very easily happened because of just like how corporate like studio heads like work because they're just like we gotta bid all these margins we gotta make sure that everybody likes this fucking show. It's like no, that's not this show is not for everybody. It's for the people who understand what's going on or
Yeah.
the people who are interested in like learning about this stuff or just like besides that it's just a fucking good show.
And just like the shock factor, right? Like, bro, like me, a black man who's watched the show before, I've seen every episode and I'm rewatching it. and there's things that they say and do and hit on that like my jaw just dropped. I'm like, I
Yeah.
fucking forgot that they went there, and like, and it's so beautiful because I don't know if any show has gone there like as effectively or maybe even
Yeah.
attempted to go there since. Like seriously, like it's
Yeah.
just it uncharted water.
Yeah, man. It's and like but that's part of the reason why I love animation so much too, is that like there's no limit to what you can make with it. There's, if you're filming like a TV show, like obviously you can't have guys jumping around like Goku. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
it's they tried doing the live action one, and it's garbage. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my whole
Yeah.
goddamn life,
I've seen just like parody videos about it. Like I've never like
dude.
obviously seen it, but I know what
Dude,
you're talking about. It's almost like a YouTube skit or something like
yeah,
that. They're trying to be funny.
dude. And I'm not even going to touch the fucking Avatar: The Last Airbender live action movie, because that is like just don't want to acknowledge that it even exists, because
Bro,
it's
yeah, like me and my wife,
terrible.
like we won't even like click on it. Like we won't even stop to like contemplate it. It just like
Yeah,
looks as, and we've had friends tell us that it sucked, but like
dude.
it just looks like it would be wet.
Yeah, man. Like but M. Night Shyamalan is the guy who directed the movie, and he can't even the show. He can look at the show to get like the pronunciations of all the names, and he doesn't do it. He changes all their names. Like
No, that's
like
oh man.
it's Sokka is you have instead of Sokka you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
have Ong instead of Aang.
No, no, he
Yeah,
don't. They don't even call him Aang.
they
They
don't
go.
even call him Aang. Dude, and not only that, Aang is not like fun at all. It's like it's like a
They just
soap
butchered
opera.
it. They just
Dude,
butchered it.
bro, apparently there's gonna be a live action another live action Avatar that Netflix is doing, and I'm not excited for it, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. Like what? I mean, has there ever been a successful like? I mean, not counting like the Disney ones, like obviously not counting like Lion King and shit, which a lot
Yeah.
of people didn't like those. But like, has there ever been a cartoon that's been brought to life successfully? Like it just
Um
sounds shitty. Like if they tried to do that with The Simpsons, or they would suck so horribly.
n-
Like
it's not really from like all of the ones that have like I think the most successful ones have actually been in the last couple years, because you have like Pokemon or Detective Pikachu. That's like
oh,
probably
that's
the
right.
that but the thing is, not it's not based on, I mean, it's sort of based on a like a spin-off game, but it's not like it's like a main like it's not like a
Like
main
part of the
staple
story.
game. Yeah, and it's also a
Yeah,
video
yeah.
game, but and
Yeah, I watched that. It wasn't horrible. I mean, it wasn't
yeah.
like gonna win any
I
awards, but it wasn't
yeah.
like unbearable.
Yeah, and like if you're a Pokemon fan, you'll enjoy it. If you're like a little kid, you'll enjoy it. If you're an adult, you're like, that wasn't too bad. That's
Yeah,
that
exactly. Like I didn't want
I
to pull my eyes out.
yeah, exactly. And that's the closest we've had, honestly.
Yeah, no, that's a good.
Um,
I'm glad you remembered that one. That one had slipped my mind, brother. But man, I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, brother.
dude,
That's
me
really
too,
all I
man.
had for you. But that was a lot of fun, man. I really hope people learned a thing or two or had fun. I'm gonna post
Hell
this
yeah,
to
man.
YouTube, and then the audio goes to all the audio platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all that. But dude, I really greatly appreciate your
Dude,
time, brother. And yeah, man.
anytime, man. Anytime. Seriously, I this is one of the things I just I enjoy. If you can't already tell by the time I've word vomited everything out, but
No, no,
it's
I
yeah.
love the enthusiasm, brother. I love seeing people talk about shit that they're passionate about, man. That always brings out the best in people. And then, man, one last time for the people, man. Go ahead and shout out them social media pages and all that, man.
All right, so you can follow me right here at Milo MYLOS PONITE, whatever. I can't spell my own thing. Circle Lotus Media. We're on everything. We stream every Friday for local and underground music. This next week we have Diva Band on, and it's going to be awesome. It's going
Hell
to be
yeah.
super dope. And then Pabu, we have music out. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. We're on all the stuff. We're going to have a new single hopefully out later this month. So be looking out for that. And then Dude, Don, what's your size, man? I need to send you a shirt.
Oh man, I'm that XL, that beefy boy
Dude,
XL, man.
hell yeah, man. You're about to get a Circle Lotus Media / Pabu shirt for
All right,
sure.
dude. Good looking out, brother. Good looking out, man. Hey, thank you so much, man. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Stay safe out there, man. And yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing, man. We gonna meet at the top, brother.
Hell yeah, dude. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on. I had a blast, man. So,
Yeah.
but you stay safe too, and we'll definitely do it again.
Hell yeah, brother. Sounds good, man.